Okay, so this is Isaiah Taylor, and this is in 2015 when he was 16. He was run across the street to deliver a frozen turkey to a neighbor before Christmas, and because, cops think everything is suspicious, particularly, I don't know, run across the street, they decided to harass him. Anyway, this is 2015. We're going to start 2015, and we're going to work our way present day.
We go head to head with sports insiders.
And of course, there's no need in having this queued up because there's going to be a fucking ad.
Hey kids, you can be one.
I'm not editing
every
this out
other
either.
Friday, Fox 6 Wake Up welcomes a new future forecaster. Parents, go to fox6now.com.
A state senator says Milwaukee police detained her teenage son last night for delivering a holiday meal. Now, Senator Lena Taylor is looking for some answers. She talked with our political reporter, Theo Keith.
We're just looking for apartment number 1.
On Monday, Milwaukee police handed out holiday meals to needy families. But State Senator Lena Taylor says later, an officer detained her son while he was trying to do the same thing.
It was just traumatic.
Taylor says she and her 16-year-old son Isaiah had just gotten home from feeding families a holiday meal when Isaiah wanted to help a neighbor in need.
He had said, "Mom, I think they could really use a turkey." And I said, "Okay, take one over to them." And so, like a kid who doesn't like to walk, he ran over to take them a turkey.
As he was running near 15th and Capitol, Taylor says Isaiah saw a police car. But she says Isaiah kept going because the car didn't have its sirens on. Here's how she describes what happened next.
Hey, hey, hey. And so my son stopped. And they proceed to come and get out and talk to him and immediately start patting him down. Didn't say anything.
Taylor posted about the incident on Facebook and told me that police had violated her son's rights. She says an officer put Isaiah in the police car, even while telling him that he wasn't in trouble.
When you saw that it was a turkey and you knew that he told you he was going to this house that was 2 houses away, what was the purpose of holding him any longer?
She says an officer did call Monday night to explain what happened, but now she has questions for the chief.
Because anytime you talk to the cops, there's always way more questions than answers. It's bullshit. It's a runaround. Well, this might have happened. That might have happened. It's always, well, there's been robberies. There's been car break-ins. They always have one excuse after another why they're so tyrannical.
After I asked Milwaukee police about this afternoon, MPD reviewed video from the officer's body camera. Milwaukee police say the officer's questioning of Taylor's son was, quote, lawful and in response to recent robberies in that area.
Well, I just tell you, recent robberies in the area. It's going to be robberies, or it's going to be car break-ins, or it's going to be vandalism. It's always going to be some bullshit that gives them some perceived authority that they think they have.
Spokeswoman for Mayor Tom Barrett did not return my phone call or email this afternoon. Live in the newsroom, Theo Keith, Fox 6 News.
Theo, do we know if that videotape will be available to the media, to the public?
No, I haven't asked that. Literally, I just got that information from police 5 minutes ago. I'll follow up with them.
All right, Theo, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Theo. So, here's where we're at, 2023. After the ad, apparently.
You have questions? We have answers.
Claims of racial
Ask
profiling
Contact
and
6,
questionable
giving you
detainment by
expert
MPD
advice.
officers.
From claims to blames, we cover it all.
Shut it.
Detainment by MPD officers as a judge ruled the civil rights of a state senator's son was violated. Now, I first spoke with State Senator Lena Taylor back in 2016, a month after this incident took place, and tonight she tells me she had no other choice but to file a suit against the city after her concerns were not addressed by the prior mayor and chief of police.
Now, let's remember, this started in 2015. This is in 2023, 8 years later.
The night her son opens up about that cold December night.
was definitely a surreal experience.
Isaiah Taylor was 16 years old when he ran across Capitol Drive to deliver frozen turkey to a neighbor for the holidays.
One black male for suspicious activity.
TMJ4 News obtained police body camera from Taylor's lawyer, capturing the moments after he was stopped and questioned by 2 MPD officers.
Suspicious activity. What's a suspicion? It has to be more than just a hunch. Suspicion, well, I don't know. He's black and he was allegedly run across the street. That's suspicious to them, apparently.
Yo, it's okay, man. It's okay. Where are you coming from?
My house. I was just dropping off the turkey for a friend.
To where? Which house?
That house right there.
This one right here?
My mom said that I can take the turkey over. I was just running it over to them.
Okay.
Even after discovering the frozen bird, Taylor was not allowed to leave the squad car. His mother, State Senator Lena Taylor, waiting at home, had no idea what was going on just feet from her doorstep.
As a mom, what hurt me the most was when my baby said, "Mom, I was looking back. I was looking for you to look for me because I had been too long."
Fast forward 7 years, Isaiah is now a young adult serving in the military. The Taylors say they were forced to sue the department when their concerns went unanswered.
There's been the ACLU lawsuit, and so in looking at those things, it looks like we've made progress. But I read the depositions of individuals who are the officers who have now been promoted, who are supervising, and I'm concerned.
Last week, a district court judge ruled there was evidence that Isaiah's rights had been violated.
I have been pushing my city to get it right for a long time.
I sat down with Taylor's attorney, Mark Thompson.
He was very, very clear that once they knew it was a turkey, they had no right to detain him, arrest him, put him in the car, question him, even though they didn't handcuff him, right? Even though they were allegedly nice. Until my department, my city insists on training its officers to do the right thing, to act in a constitutional
Training them to do the right thing.
matter.
To act in a constitutional manner. That's their whole job. That's the whole point of all the training that they get. There's zero accountability. That's what I keep trying to tell you. With no accountability, the fucking training doesn't matter.
We're going to continue to have unlawful stops.
Meanwhile, Isaiah is just thankful he made it back to his mother's arms, and he's been able to move on from that night.
I don't know another word for it, but vindicated that at least somebody is rooting in my corner that's not just my family.
The ruling now in the hands of the city's attorney's office to agree to a settlement, money that ultimately taxpayers will have to shoulder.
Of course.
No.
Taxpayers have to shoulder all of it. Don't think that any of their money is going to shoulder it, do you? No. These tyrants, these thugs need to have to buy a bond and pay into that bond. And then when they do some shit like this, you can go after that bond. And if that bond isn't enough, anything that secures that bond can be taken. The house, the car, the toaster, I don't know, the fucking four-wheeler, anything that has secured that bond can be taken. Once they got a little skin in the game, they might start following their training. Once there's some accountability, they might start following their training. Until then, they don't give a shit. And here we are, 2 years later. This is a total of a decade in the making.
Good evening. A Milwaukee man will get a new trial 10 years after he says Milwaukee police detained him illegally while he was donating dinner during the holidays. Isaiah Taylor was just 16 years old then. He is now 26. Our Shannon Sims joins me live now after talking with Taylor. And Shannon, you have covered this story from the very beginning.
Susan, it was 10 years ago I first reported on the incident, just days before Christmas. And at the center of the case is whether or not the officers involved are protected by qualified immunity, which means they're shielded from civil lawsuits. Do you still remember that day?
So when I think about that day, I still get jitters.
It's been a decade since Isaiah Taylor was put in the back of this Milwaukee police squad car.
What's your first name? That's it. Am I in trouble?
And still, he gets physically emotional when talking about it.
If you may, let me speak from the heart for a second. When I was back in that car, in that squad car, I was terrified. I didn't know if I was going to be taken away. I didn't know what my end was going to look like.
Isaiah, 16 at the time, was running across busy Capitol Drive to deliver a frozen turkey to a neighbor days before Christmas.
Where are you coming from?
My house. I was just dropping off a turkey for a friend.
Body camera shows Officer Justin Schwartzhuber and Jason Rzuski stop, frisk, and
And you notice when the news wants to report something, they always show a street that's busy, Capitol Drive, busy Capitol Drive. This, at this time of the night, is not busy. So get it straight, news.
detain Isaiah after they discovered the frozen bird inside his brown paper bag.
All I could do was look back at my house across the street with my porch light still on and know my mom didn't even know what was going on.
His mother, then State Senator Lena Taylor.
I remember that day. I remember being in the foyer of the house, and it gets me every time. And we just cried for a minute together.
Isaiah sued the city and officers in 2021 for violating his constitutional rights. A jury found the officers not liable, and Isaiah appealed in 2020.
Again, no accountability. There you go. Found them not liable. No accountability. They don't give a shit.
23. Well, this month, the Seventh Circuit Court ruled those officers were not entitled to qualified immunity when it came to Isaiah's Fourth Amendment right, unreasonable search and seizure.
And if you don't have reasonable suspicion that someone committed a crime, you can't hold them for even a second.
Attorney Mark Thompson represents Isaiah.
They ran for the warrant check after they both knew it was
They knew they fucked up. They was hoping they'd find a warrant so they could say, see, told you.
the turkey. They all knew. They were just hoping, fishing, that there would be a warrant so they could arrest another young man.
Yes, they call that a fishing expedition.
The judge ordered a new trial. Isaiah says the lawsuit is not about money, but rather speaking up and being heard in a courtroom of his peers.
To see how the justice system will work for me and not against me. I'm just happy I finally get to share my story, share my truth.
And so, Shannon, where does this case stand right now?
Okay, so I did reach out to the city attorney's office for comment. They have not reached back or returned my calls. However, it really is in the city's hands. Do they want to settle the case or do they want to take it to trial? But it's important to note that there are 3 states, including the city of New York, who have either ended qualified immunity altogether or amended the way that it can be used in court cases.
All right, Shannon Sims reporting. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Shannon. And this was from the 26th of February. So that's where we're at with this one.
Taken away.
And it's total bullshit. Yes, they should take qualified immunity from all of them. Let them learn to do the job that they're trained to do without protections that allow them to go out there and do what they want to do, not what their training has told them they need to do. Anyway, that's where we're at with this one. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Also, 92% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. You got your phone in your hand, you're at your laptop. Click the button and we'll move along. Let me know what you think about this one, and I'm out.